Welcome back. Today we are talking about sharing your story. And in this segment, our panel is going to answer a few viewer questions. So ladies, here's a question from one of our viewers. I think I would like to share my story publicly. How will I know I'm ready, and what should I expect?
Well, for me, it started with if I could share with one, and then I could share with two, and then I could share with three, and then I could share with 10. I feel like I kind of did it in baby steps. And you know, for me, there was also a sense of, it feels a little bit scary and it's a little bit risky, and especially when you're sharing vulnerable things, it feels that way. But just stepping out and doing it, I think that you know you're ready when you can share the one and not be so afraid of what they're thinking about you, or are they judging me, or whether are they gonna later, are they gonna, next time I see me, they're gonna look at me this way. If I can share the one with the one confidently, like, you know what, you can judge me if you want to, that's your issue, that's not mine, but here's what God did, and isn't that amazing? Mm-hmm. And if you're at that place where you're so confident, you're very confident in God's restoration, and not that I'm perfect, but I'm confident in God, and I'm confident in His healing power, I'm confident that I'm redeemed, that's how I know I'm ready. Mm-hmm. I hope I answered that well.
My situation was different, and I pretty much felt called to do it from the beginning. So I don't know if I have an answer for that.
Mine's, I guess, similar to Harmony's in that it was kind of like, you know, I wrote the book, and that was between God and I, you know, and then someone said, you know, I'm happy to edit it, and someone paid money to get it printed, and it was just kind of like this journey, and then if you can write it, can you speak it, like I said before, and it was like, okay, and so I went and spoke at a youth meeting to 200 people, and I was like, oh, okay, I mean, I can do that. And I'm, you know, same scripture about, you know, Revelation 12:11, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony, and I think if there is one person in this room, you know, if there is one person watching this who is drawn closer to God through our bravery and our courage, then it was worth it.
Totally worth it.
I would like to add, there's a difference between, for me, confessing and sharing my story.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get on the platform with a microphone and confess to 1,000 people something that I haven't worked out with me and God and me and my safe group of intimate core friends. And so I'm actually just in the process of writing my second book, and I've just begun that process. But it's not going to be from a place of, I'm confessing this and I'm airing my dirty laundry, and this is the first time I'm sharing this, I'm going to tell you, the public. It's more so, I've talked about it to Ashley. I've talked about it to Brownen. I've worked through it with my sponsor. I've dealt with it with God. I've journaled. I've read the books. I've done the work. And now, after having received the recovery and the healing that I need, now I can share it as an offering.
It's good. And it's
really
that's
good.
responsible communication too, because then you have, if you don't know what to do with your story, then how is a woman who already doesn't know what to do with her pain, what will she do?
Yeah.
You know, so it's very responsible communication.
Yeah.
And then that's just the second half of that question. What do I expect? Like, what should I expect in sharing my story?
That you can't control other people's reactions. And so, especially when you're stepping into the arena of going out there and sharing publicly, knowing that there are going to be people who judge and criticize, and you know, don't read the reviews and don't read all the comments and don't get caught up in all that, and just surround yourself with the voices of the safe, healthy people that are in your life that are cheering you on and that see you as God sees you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine's the same. Be confident in that, and be willing to take, you know, DVDs and CDs of when you have shared, and take it to safe people and mentors and say, can you critique this for
That's
me?
very good.
Like, I want to get better at this. Like, you know, at the end of the day, yes, it's my story. At the end of the day, I want it to bring glory and honor to God. So I don't want to, you know, bring my mess and bring my dirty laundry. I remember a long time after I was divorced, I didn't mention it from the platform because I was like, I don't want to promote it. I didn't get married to get divorced. So again, going through that journey and going through that healing and asking safe people and asking mentors and having people around your life that are going to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing about it. Both of us, we were sort of already public with our stories in the middle of going through divorce, and I actually found that it was a healthy choice for me that I shared very openly with my accountability, with my sponsor and the people that God had put in my life, but I was very protective of that journey while I was in the middle of it. And although my story was public, I didn't feel like I had to tell everybody everything about it. And but that was a tricky ground to navigate, wanting to be transparent and vulnerable and honest as well.
Yeah.
That's great. And just one more quick question. So Crissy, I'm just going to throw this one to you. This is a great question. My public testimony has caused some of my family members sadness and regret. What are the appropriate words to say to them to help them with their grief?
Well, I don't know if I have an answer for that. it has caused grief with my dad, and there's really, for my situation, I don't see a way to be forgiven for it.
To fix that in that case.
Yeah, there's no way to fix it. He didn't.
And I know that situation intimately, and I know from you and for all of us, I would say that we're the first people to say, I'm going to take responsibility for my part, and so I'm sorry that this has caused hurt, and I'm sorry for these things that I know I can take responsibility for. But then beyond that, you can't make them want to forgive you or make them have grace in their heart or change the way they feel about it. So that's the part where it just has to be about surrendering.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, ladies. So next up, our panel will continue to answer your questions.